Good morning, or shall we just say morning? It is good to be together, to gather together. We thought we would start off singing today, so we're going to start off singing hymn number 95 in the gray hymnal, There is More Love Somewhere. You're invited to rise in body or spirit, and we'll just keep singing it as people come in. Sing them into worship this morning. Yeah, sounds good. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm looking We can sing louder than this. The next verse. Peace. Joy. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is love. Let's do one more round with some love. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. You may be seated.
Good morning. Welcome. I am Shay McKay. I'm the Sabbatical Associate Minister here, and welcome to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. We are a community of youth, adults, and children of many diverse theologies, held together by covenant, not creed. Today we gather together to grieve, rage, and be together in comfort in the wake of tragedy. We need each other to make it through this time. And we are so glad that you are here with us today. Will you please turn to your neighbor and thank them for being here with us, with you today? All right. I also want to welcome any visitors that may be joining us today. We are so glad that you are here as well. We do have children's, children's programming offered this summer. And if you would like more information about that, please see our Director of Religious Education, Amy Peterson. Let's take a moment and wave to those on Zoom. And we welcome the Eau Claire congregation who is joining us, as well as our own members and friends on Zoom today. Welcome to our church. Together we care for our souls and each other in love.
Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place. Together, we make it a holy place.
My name is Bjorn Peterson, and I use he, him, and they, them pronouns. And when I was a kid, I was captured by the idea of radical, revolutionary love. I grew up with Christian stories that included miracles performed by Jesus, including his overcoming murder at the hands of the empire. But of all the stories that I heard, none moved me like the everyday acts of revolutionary love. His defiance of those who used God and government to consolidate their grip on power cost him his life. But his revolutionary love was tenacious and tender, and it could not be killed. And it was not just through public protest or engagement with the powers that be. Jesus regularly engaged in mundane yet intimate acts, making room at his table, recognizing the socially unrecognizable, and calling in those who had been cast out. The love he had was revolutionary because he embodied it wherever he was, with whomever he was with. My heart swelled with courage and conviction when we sang together, "And they'll know we are Christians by our love, yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love." Of course, for many, talk of Jesus is triggering, of ongoing and past traumas. Within a few hundred years, the empire that killed him had appropriated the story of Jesus for its own greedy and violent acts, a process that replicates down through today. The story the empire tells and sells about Jesus is used to justify their consolidation of power and wealth on earth, while promising an end to suffering after we die. This perversion of Jesus' example has had catastrophic consequences. Learning this was confusing and heartbreaking when I was young. I was crushed to find that the message I had sung with all my earnest heart, that they'll know we are Christians by our love, was not, in fact, the marker of our community for most outside of it. So I left in search of those who are known for their love more than for the power and wealth of their institution. Sometimes I wish leaving had been all it took to find revolutionary love. Sometimes I wish staying was a thing I knew how to do. But mature love, revolutionary love, is love that must endure the endless failures and encroaching violence that has always threatened our lives together. And I was still told those stories of Jesus' intimate acts of love. And I was taught songs that centered love as the marker of our community. And I have found communities marked by their revolutionary love far beyond the religious boundaries that those who consolidate power and wealth use to scare and control us. And love is not defeated. And love, tenacious love, is not defeated. So revolutionary love confronts us with the compassion and honesty of a child and asks us who we will choose to be. I tried to capture that tender confrontation in a poem titled, "You Will Awake," and it goes like this. You will find that the dahlias die, that the deer don't always get across, that even the grandmother oaks hollow and rot. And you will learn that people do know about the tragedy and injustices that move you, that many wonderful ideas have been tried, that even the right people in the right positions with the right ideas are not enough to end all the suffering worth ending. And when you have wept and screamed and moved in all the ways you must, you will awake to the single question to which you are forever apprenticed. Who are you? What will you do now? Who will you become? Today, let us light the chalice for the way love endures despite all the ways it seems to be threatened, for the way love confronts us with compassion, and for the choices we have to participate in love's tenacious, revolutionary life. Let us now speak together the words, "Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another."
Our opening hymn this morning, I'm Reverend Jessica, the lead minister here. My pronouns are she, her. Our opening hymn this morning is number 401 in your gray hymnal, Kumbaya. This is originated from the Gulagichi, whose ancestors were brought to America's southeastern coast from West Africa as the probable creators of this famous folk song. This song was asking God to come by here and bear witness to the oppression that was happening. So we sing it with that reverence, that lament, that longing in mind this morning. Please rise in body and spirit to join us in Kumbaya, and we will do someone's singing, someone's weeping, and someone's praying. Kumbaya. Someone sing
When I was doing my internship, my mentor, Rob Eller Isaacs, taught me that he started every day with a very short body prayer. It was the first thing he did when he got out of bed in the morning. And he believed that by starting his day that way with that very short intention, he was setting the intention for the whole rest of his day. And I've sort of taken that and adapted it and made it my own. And I find in times of challenge, in times of grief and rage and fear, that it is a very helpful way to ground myself. And so I'm going to teach you this body prayer today, and I'm going to ask that you do it with me. While I teach it, remain seated, but then you're welcome to stand as we do it together as a community. So, whether you were at the protest yesterday or not, whether you've been following the news the last 24 hours or not, whether you are holding with a weeping heart all of the grief and sorrow and rage of our larger community, or something more personal for you today, you are welcome here, and I invite you here into this place where we can ground ourselves and connect ourselves to something larger. So the body prayer is 4 parts, and it starts right down here in our sacral chakras, right down here in our roots, in our core of our body, where we breathe as deep into our bellies as we can. We cup our hands there, gathering the energy, grounding ourselves, filling the core of us with grounding energy. We cup our hands low on our bellies, and we breathe as deeply as we can, in and out. We breathe twice, in and out. And you feel the solidness of that core, of your trunk, your legs down into the earth, and your body solid. And from there, when we've grounded our bodies, we then open ourselves. We open ourselves to the larger energy, the larger love, that which flows through and among everything and all of us. This is opening our entire body. I tip my head back so that my throat chakra is open, my heart chakra is open. And another 2 deep breaths. Gathering energy larger than ourselves. We don't have to be alone. And from there, we bring that into our hearts, into our spirits, into our chests, into our voices. And another 2 breaths here. And we are called by our faith, we are called by our love to connect with others. And so the final movement is a sharing of what we have gathered and found. 2 breaths. We're going to do that now without me talking us through it. I will stay up here so you can see me. We do 2 breaths with each movement. You can stand or sit, either or is fine. So I invite you. Okay, let us begin at our sacral chakra, down in our roots.
Thank you, Shay. Usually at this time, we'd invite our children and those who would like to come forward, but I'm going to invite you to stay just where you are today, shoulder to shoulder with those among us. My name is Amy. My pronouns are she, her. I'm your director of religious education. And I talk a lot about the rituals that anchor our time together in our classrooms with our children and teens, in particular, our stone check-in ritual. It is the time when we share with one another what it is we are bringing into the space with us, the people, the pets, the news, the joys, the sorrows, the worries. We don't have a lot of spaces in our world where we are invited to explicitly do this, to breathe, to scan, to name, to receive, to hold together the complexity, the beauty, and the sadness of the world. But I deeply believe in something that Fred Rogers once said: anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. When we can talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. And this is true in part because when we talk about something, we talk about it with another human. And in that moment of feeling whatever it is that we are feeling, when we are really attentive to one another, we get to be human together. And we really, really need to be human together, especially when our feelings are big and confusing and overwhelming. Being together helps us feel less alone in this big world. And so when we check in with our stones, we invite the children to hold an object in their hand, and usually this is a stone, and sometimes it's a little dinosaur or a fidget, but we imagine that sometimes this is what it feels like to hold something in your heart, right? The things that we hold in our hearts have weight and texture and a shape. And the more that we hold in the hands, the heavier it gets, and the more we need one another to help hold them. And so as we hold these objects, we take a moment to scan, to notice what is deep and what's true in our hearts. And if we feel safe to do so, we name it out loud to be held together. Jessica, will you help me hold what it is I'm holding in my heart today?
Yes, I will.
Today I'm holding with sadness and worry and a little more than just a little bit of anger. I'm holding the news that has been really hard lately. And yesterday in our state, we lost a lawmaker who was a friend and mentor to so many. So I'm holding her friends and family and all of us who have learned from her and looked up to her. Jessica, what are you holding today?
I'm going to light a candle for your friend. I'm holding today all of the fathers who do the important work of fathering. I'm holding the people who had complicated relationships with their fathers. I'm holding the senator's partner, whose name I can't, Mark, who was a father as well. I'm going to light the other. I'm skipping ahead in the script. Who was a father and their children today. And I'm holding that this day is complicated for many. Mother's Day and Father's Day is a complicated day. So for those that are currently doing the work of fathering, we celebrate you and we support you. And those for whom this day is hard, who maybe wanted to be a father but weren't able to, or had difficult relationships with their fathers, I will light a candle and put it in our candle box. And I have one more thing too. I'm also holding sadness and gladness. There could be a word for that, but we're not going to invent it right now. That members of our community, today it's their last day. So Bjorn and Elisa, would you mind coming up? I know, you're going to make me cry too. So Bjorn and Elisa have been wonderful members of this community, had so many holy yeses. And when I first began, I went over to see their newborn baby, Annika. because if there's a new baby, I will invite myself over to your house immediately, and got to know them a bit. But what a joy it has been to get to know you. So they are going on to both co-lead Holden Village Camp in Washington State. So that means everyone here has an open invitation to Holden Village, which looks amazing from the website, but you carry with you the love and blessings of this congregation, of all who have gotten to know you, and the beautiful gifts that you bring. So we have a little chalice in here with our logo on it so that you can light it around your own rituals, and just know that you carry our love and blessings with you, and please do keep in touch. And I didn't name your children, carry those love and blessings too, Magnus and Annika.
Thank you for holding all of these things together with me, Jessica. And I'm going to invite us all to do one more scan together. So I invite you to close your eyes, just be present in this room and feel the presence of those around you. And if you need to, you can open your eyes and look around. But as you feel the warmth and presence of the community around you, I want to share the words that we use to light our chalice each week with our children and teens. We say, we light this chalice to remind us all to be loving and kind, to listen and learn, to grow and serve. This light reminds us that together we are strong. We need one another. Holding space for one another reminds us that we are human together, and that together we are strong. I'm going to invite us now to sing our children on their way to the summer program. The hymn is Go Lift It Up. I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Please be seated. There are occasional times in the life of this congregation when we do spoken joys and concerns, and today is one of those times. So you are in a moment, you will be invited to come down. You're going to come down this aisle or that aisle, and Shay and I both have mics where you can choose to speak. You don't have to. You can just come up and light a candle. But you can speak first and then take a candle and light it from the candles over here. Speak what's on your heart today. I know we have a lot of feelings, and I invite you to name your feelings using I statements about how you personally are feeling. Let this community in if you feel open to that. If you're watching online, you can name your joys and sorrows in the chat box, and we will read those at the end. If you need someone to come to you with a mic, we will do that at the end as well. Please come forward down both aisle now, and then you will speak, light, and then exit up that one.
I feel sorry for the loss of Melissa Hartman and her husband.
You can line up on both aisles.
I feel conflicted by everything that's going on in our country.
I'm praying for healing for John and Yvette and for holding hope and all who fight for disability rights.
Wishing peace and calmness for our legislators. There's so much sorrow today, and I am hoping for more peace.
I long for peace.
I feel great sadness, terrible sadness, and a mixture of anger as well, which I don't know what to do with.
I offer love and light for all of us grieving.
I feel ferociously angry.
Thinking of my nephew, Ryan, who's struggling with liver cancer.
I'm struggling to hold on to my UU principles and resist my feelings of revenge.
I just won't cry.
I'm praying for hope and the safety of those who were on the list and for those who were not on the list but are also hated and are in danger.
I'm worried about what we have to do to make things better for our communities. And I'm also worried for the people who are putting themselves out there and putting themselves in danger.
I'm feeling really sad for the families that lost their family members and really sad for our children that this is the world that we are leaving to them.
I join in sharing the feelings of the community of sadness and being horrified and scared. And I also bring my feelings of sadness and concern for my family and family of the heart in terms of health issues we're holding.
I'm grateful for my group of friends and all the strangers that showed up yesterday to protest at the Capitol against the advice and pleas of our children and family. It was very somber, but also uplifting and energizing to see that many people show up, especially one of my friends that I would never dream that she'd go to a protest came along.
I feel grief and determination.
I feel hope for the people who are trying to unite the very different views, that we can find ways to come together.
I feel heartbroken. I feel a little numb. I also feel determination and courage, and when I am together with you all, comfort.
I have a lot of feelings today, but mostly I'm missing my dad.
I feel so much grief for our country and fear, and I'm so grateful for all of you and all the people that are in my life that I can hold up and that hold me up.
Feeling sadness, but at the same time, I am feeling hopeful because there were huge protests around the country, massive, bigger than anything we've seen. And despite some news reports that said that the protests in Minnesota were canceled in the Twin Cities, the paper reported over 30,000 people came out to the Capitol and all around many different other cities. So I'm being hopeful and trying to stay positive.
There are so many things to grieve today, and
I continue to hold in my heart the immigrant families that have been torn apart, and I'm hoping that that situation will get better.
I feel hope and determination and courage after the protests yesterday, chanting and marching with thousands of people. Felt very reassuring and validating that we're not alone, including lots of signs about I want my grandkids to see that I wasn't silent, or I want my daughter to learn that this is not normal. My son-in-law and daughter taught their kids as they left and told them, we're going to be in separate places in case one of us gets detained or hurt. You'll still have a parent. But people showing courage and determination.
I am saddened as to what's been happening in our country, yet I am very hopeful after going to the march yesterday and seeing the decency in the people that were there and how they respected and cared for each other, and that gives me a lot of hope.
I feel resolute. The arc bends because we bend it.
With the mixed emotions, with all sorts of feelings, I am determined to hang on to and spread feelings of hopefulness for peace and goodness and healing.
I'm feeling scared for our country.
I feel grateful for safe spaces and for this safe space.
I feel grief and hope and anger and more resolve than ever to fight for our democracy.
I want to thank all those who perform public service.
Just grateful for this community and this opportunity for me to be here today. I'm not sure I would be handling this as well as I am without all of you, so thank you.
I started this week with great gratitude for the stroke team at Fairview University for helping me through 2 very scary days, and ended up this week totally heartbroken and feeling absolute rage and fear for a dear friend of mine who is right now under police protection.
I feel grief and sorrow and horror over the last couple of days and for our country as a whole. I also feel joy and hope for all the demonstrations and rallies that took place across the country and in Minnesota.
I'm thankful to be able to come to this church today and feel support and with the ceremony and with the people here.
I feel very frustrated with our elected officials that continue to greenlight policies that are harmful to our country.
I too share the fear, the anxiety, the outrage, and I'm so thankful for the reminder of the power of revolutionary love in our lives.
Having been in law enforcement, I know it was a terrible thing, those murders yesterday and the other 2 that got shot. I feel for the officers that had to witness that. I feel for the paramedics that had to transport those 2 people back to the hospital. I feel for the people, the nurses and the doctors that had to care for their dead bodies and see the carnage that bullets cause to a body. Nobody thinks about those people that have to do an unthinkable job and then go home to their kids and not think about it all night. So, thinking about those people.
Is there anyone who would like us to come to them with a microphone? Shay, I will read the online ones if you would do the candles, please. Josh Irish says, I'm so confused right now, overjoyed about the No Kings protest, and damaged by the assassinations that occurred yesterday. Cynthia Sturrell says, I'm very worried about the future of our country and I'm hoping for some healing to begin soon. Lori Lifto says, feeling fear for the future. Nikki Walla says, I'm holding love for my father and stepfather who are no longer with us. I'm sad for families torn apart in all the world today. Samantha Clemente says, I'm feeling wildly moved reflecting on joining the 80,000 other community members yesterday as we marched to our capital with passionate nonviolence and love. Patty Saunders says, it feels like there's so much cruelty in this country. I'm grateful for this community. Linda Schellender says, I feel deep grief as well as wild hope after millions of us showed up to stand up for democracy, love, and peace. And Jean Doolittle says, I'm worried that we will be overwhelmed by the daily onslaught of horror and terror, but I also know that we are in a community of strong and decent people, and I have hope that we can keep moving towards peace and resolution of this moment of hate. And the prayers of our people that were put in the bowl this morning. Someone asks for prayers for their sister-in-law, Christine, who was hospitalized this week due to heart problems. And we light 2 more candles. I'll do one over here too, maybe 3 more. For the prayers that are unspoken, but are on our hearts just the same. Maybe they feel too tender to speak into this space. May you find people to share those prayers with.
My own personal theology is that there is a spirit that moves through all things, and that spirit moves through us. It binds us together as a community, it binds us together as a whole, as a unity, as a one. It brings us comfort. It inflames our righteous anger. And so I call upon that spirit, mystery, love, God, the wind, whatever you want to call it today. I know that it is here with us, but I ask even more that it be here with us, that it move through us. These flames, these lights are visible symbols of the fire that lives within our hearts, that keeps us safe and warm, that keeps our community safe and warm, and that fire is our commitment to creating a better world. And so I ask you one more time, you can remain seated. As we're holding all of this to ground ourselves, to open ourselves to that mystery. So join me one more time today in our body prayer, 2 breaths at each stop. You can stand if you want to. Let us begin. Breathe in and out. Amen. Let's sing together, Comfort Me. 1, you can stay seated. 1002. My
Now is the time where we make space for announcements and our offertory. Just a reminder, what's happening next Sunday? I heard popcorn? Oh yes, because they have popcorn there at the Riverview Theater. So for those who are visiting who are like, what are you talking about? This next week is General Assembly, which is our annual gathering of Unitarian Universalists that happens online and in person. This year, the in-person is in Baltimore. And we will be live streaming their closing service next Sunday at the Riverview Theater in Minneapolis. with a handful of other UU congregations. So come and be with Twin Cities UUs next Sunday. Woo, that's right. But what happens if you come here on Sunday? You're going to the Church of the Woods. And then the following Sunday, we will resume services here. And so next Sunday, 10 a.m., Riverview Theater. Are we doing a tour today? Do you know? No tour. Okay. Each week sometimes we're figuring things out as we go. Each week we collect for our offering plate. The money collected today goes to support the work of this church in serving our mission. There are a couple of ways you can give today. You can use the text to give feature. The number's going to be on the screen momentarily. You can give on the website, or you can place cash or check in the offering basket. Thank you for your generosity and your faith in this life we live together. The offering will now be gratefully collected.
The first reading today is a poem by Mark Nepo called In Love with the World. There is no end to love. We may tear ourselves away or fall off the cliff we thought sacred, or return one day to find the home we dreamt of burning. But when the rain slows to a slant and the pavement turns cold, that place where I kept you and all of you, that place opens like a fist no longer strong enough to stay closed. And the ache returns, thank God. The sweet and sudden ache that lets me know I am alive. The rain keeps misting on my face. What majesty of cells assembles around this luminous presence that moves around as me. How is it I'm still here? Each thing touched, each breath, each glint of light, each pain in my gut is cause for praise. I pray to keep falling in love with everyone I meet, with every child's eye, with every fallen being getting up. Like a worm cut in two, the heart only grows another heart. When the cut in my mind heals, I grow another mind. Birds migrate and caribou circle the cold top of the world. Perhaps we migrate between love and suffering, making our wounded joyous cries, alone, then together, alone, then together. Oh, praise the soul's migration. I fall, I get up, I run from you, I look for you. I am again in love with the world. Our second reading today is called Today When I Could Do Nothing by Jane Hirschfield. Today when I could do nothing, I saved an ant. It must have come in with the morning paper still being delivered to those who shelter in place. A morning paper is still an essential service. I am not an essential service. I have coffee and books, time, a garden, silence enough to fill cisterns. It must have first walked the morning paper as if loosened ink, taking the shape of an ant. Then across the laptop computer, warm, then onto the back of a cushion. Small black ant alone, crossing a navy cushion, moving steadily because that is what it could do. Set outside in the sun, it could not have found it again its nest. What then did I save? It did not move as if it was frightened, even while walking my hand, which moved it through the swiftness and air. Ant alone, without companions, whose ant heart I could not fathom. How is this your life? I wanted to ask. I lifted it, took it outside. The first day when I could do nothing, contribute nothing, beyond staying distant from my own kind. I did this.
Jane Hirschfield wrote the poem that was just shared on the morning of March 17th, 2020. A county-wide shelter-in-place mandate had just taken effect, and she awoke in the morning struck by the profound silence around her. She lived in San Francisco, which we know is not a quiet city, but she went to bed in one world and awoke in another. And so when she could have done nothing, she saved an ant. We went to sleep on Friday night in one world, and we awoke in another. And then, when faced with the news, we had to decide what our own actions would be. Here in this room and our 50 households online, we have every level of engagement present. We have some who went to a march. We have some who were afraid to march, some who didn't have the energy to march, and some who had other priorities. And so whatever you did yesterday, I'm here to tell you that it was enough. You are enough right now. Just listening to your heart and your feelings is enough. When hate shows up in such horrifying force as it did yesterday, there can be a sense of urgency in our actions that we have to do something immediately to stop what happened from happening again, and the anxiety rises. And we come here to remember to make space to pause, to take a breath, to do our beautiful body prayer offered by Reverend Shea, to ask God or love to come by here to be with us. And then we find a way to keep moving forward. And maybe the most revolutionary thing that you are capable of right now is saving the life of an ant. That's enough. Activist and author Valerie Kaur coined the term revolutionary love, and in her book she says, the opposite of love is not rage. The opposite of love is indifference. Love engages all of our emotions. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger is the force that protects that which is loved. We cannot access the depth of loving ourselves or others without our rage. So if you're having some rage right now, that is holy and sacred too. So I have two invitations for you today. The first is to tend to your feelings right now, to care for your hearts. This is scary, horrifying, heartbreaking, and rage-inducing. Tend to your spirits, whatever that looks like for you. And this includes your spiritual practices. Commit to them to help ground you in this time. Have I been a broken record about spiritual practices since last fall? Yes, I have. And I will keep being so. Because things will keep happening that do not make sense, that keep breaking our hearts, and we need to tend to that soil under our feet so that when these things happen, we grieve, we rage, and we are grounded. And then we do the next right thing. So my daughter's 2.5, and she's really in a frozen mode right now. Parents, grandparents who know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, Frozen is this set of movies about two sisters that are really working on their emotional intelligence and maturity. I have lots of feelings about it, but I let it go. I mean, that was open. And so in Frozen 2, Anna sings this song about doing the next right thing. She's in a situation where she sees no way out. And she realizes when she looks at the big picture, she feels hopeless. And so she takes a breath and does the next right thing, which is often right in front of us. Maybe it's saving an ant. Maybe it's calling a friend and saying you need support. Maybe it's singing and letting the words sink into your body. Will you sing with me? Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Oh Lord, kumbaya. Maybe it's sitting outside and listening for the voice of God, which might sound like rain falling or bird song or a child's laughter. Maybe it's lighting a candle and praying for peace in community as your heart breaks. To do the next right thing, we need to slow down and tend. And by tending to our spirits, it allows us to see, to listen for what grief is asking of us, what rage is asking of us, what our broken hearts need. When my heart is breaking, I often think of the Wendell Berry poem, The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me and I wake in night at the least sound, in fear of my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. Therefore, dear ones, I hope you're able to find ways to rest in the grace of the world by going towards the peace of wild things in this next week ahead. Please go gently with each other. Remember that our faith calls us to work for justice, and I will tell you in the future about ways that we can work for justice. But right now, the most important thing you can do this week is to tend to your spirits and do the next right thing. And if you are in need of support right now, if you're in need of some pastoral care support, Reverend Shea is available. Please reach out to her. Schedule an appointment with her to help provide care. Our theology says we are bound up together, as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, in an inescapable network of mutuality tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. We are all connected and responsible for each other. Our faith has our centering values, and in the middle of that is, that's right, let's say it a little louder. What's in the middle? Love. That's right. Our love says, I care for you because you matter. Our love says, I will work for justice for you because you matter. And our love says, I will tend to myself in order to tend to each other. May you feel that love holding you as you go forth from this place and out into the world. May you remind each other of it. And come back here, and we will keep reminding you of it in 2 weeks. And may you remember the power of community to hold each other, to come by each other as we weep, as we pray, and we sing together. Someone is singing, my Lord, come by me. We need each other. We need all of you. Please tend to your spirits as we move through this time. Amen. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing in your gray hymnal, hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us. I invite you to join hands with your neighbor if you are comfortable with that. If you'd prefer not to, you can place your hand on your chest. And give them a little squeeze. Mark Nepo says, perhaps we migrate between love and suffering, making our wounded, joyous cries, alone, then together, alone, then together, alone, then together. May love guide you on your way this week as you care for yourself and each other. May you know that you are held by this community in your goings out and your coming in. Amen. Will you turn to your neighbor and thank them for coming to church this morning?